Good afternoon. Let's see if I know how to use this. I don't. There we go. Or are you going to work it, Sam? Okay. Hi, I'm Chuck Fitzgerald. I'm Director of Fluid Applied Development for Tremco, North America, Roofing Division. Started in '77 as a salesman, moved through the company, moved out of the company, competed with Tremco for 22 years, ended up running a company called Liquid Plastics in Middletown, Connecticut. We manufactured and sold fluid applied products. In fact, if any of you are familiar with the Pickering nuclear site, we did those domes, right? In fact, we did them with their own people. Came back to Tremco in 2009, national or regional sales manager for the Northeast. And then during that time, I helped Tremco develop fluid applied products for roofing restoration and replacement. So what we're going to talk about this afternoon is roofing replacement or new construction, because that doesn't get talked about a lot. So when you're looking at a standard roof, built up, modified, single ply, and someone starts talking to you about tensile strength, elongation, tear strength, puncture resistance, okay, they're getting those values from the ply sheets themselves. And so you have to ask yourself the question, well, why do we call it fluid applied roofing? Well, because it's wet, right? Right? But we also call it fluid applied roofing because fluid applieds get most of their physical characteristics from the liquids themselves. Now, most of them are reinforced, but if you took the reinforcement out, you would still get roughly the same tensile, you'd get far better elongation, you'd still get the same tear and puncture, right? Because this is a chemical game, right? The urethanes, the PMMAs, the modified urethanes, chemically, they are all better than regular roofing products. And that's why fluid applied systems have such great success. Physically and chemically, they are just superior, right? We didn't invent it. It's just the way it is. Now, they've been in use for many years. Tremco's been in the waterproofing business for a long, long time. So you go to urethanes, I think we did our first one in 1970. Tremco moisture-triggered polyurethane came around in 1985. Tremco Puma, which is a polyurethane methyl methacrylate hybrid, 2000. These aren't new products. They've been around, they've been tested. We worked the bugs out. And Tremco has a family of products called AlphaGuard. Why do we have a family of products? Apparently we don't. All right, we've got MT, which is a moisture trigger. Now, I don't have time to go into the chemistry of this stuff, all right, but moisture triggered is a very, very superior curing mechanism than moisture cured. It's rather unique. Then we have AlphaGuard Bio. It's 100% solids, castor oil based. It's a bio product. In the United States government, they call it bio preferred. 100% solids, 2-component. It also is very unique. And then we have AlphaGuard Puma, which is polyurethane methyl methacrylate hybrid. And this is unique. And you just heard what they were talking about on the sealant side. We sell a different version on the roofing side. Same basic chemistry. So it's extremely hard, extremely durable, but it has unbelievable elongation for that kind of product, which is pretty important when you're talking about roofing. But today, what we're going to talk about primarily is new roofing and re-roofing. And we're going to talk about two kinds of decks: concrete decks and metal decks. Now, the metal decks, it would be the same for wood decks, gypsum decks, tectum decks, wood fiber, all right? What I'm trying to point out is that while we do a huge business in roof restoration with these fluid applied products, we also do a very good business in new construction or roof replacement. right? So it can be used either way. And we're seeing great success. Our sales 2 years ago for fluid applied were about 32 million. Last year they were 54 million. This year they'll be between 74 and 78 million. And the year after that we'll hit 100 million. All right, so as you know, Tremco sells a lot of different types of roofing. Built up, modified, single ply. We don't believe one size fits all. That's why we have presently 3 different types of fluid applied. You know, you pick your spots based upon the design criteria that you need to hit. So basically, what is fluid applied? Okay, it's not brain surgery, right? If you're on a concrete deck, you shot blast it, you prime it. If you're on a metal deck, you put down your insulation, your cover board, and a base sheet. Okay, pretty simple stuff. And then what you do is you put on a base coat, which is usually anywhere between 40 and 50 mils thickness, which is about 3 gallons per 100 square feet. I'm an American, as you can tell, so I don't have the meter thing down. I can't translate. And then you put in a reinforcing membrane. There's all kinds of reinforcing membranes. Primarily, they're glass or polyester. They're all thicknesses. They're all shapes. I mean, if a salesman shows you a sample of a polyester membrane or any other kind of membrane and says, see how thick it is and see how tough it is, and, okay, that's good salesmanship, but it doesn't really have a whole lot to do with the roof you're going to end up with. All right, because most of the physical properties come from the liquid themselves. We'll talk about membranes again in a little while. So reinforcing membranes found in fluid applied systems are usually fiberglass or polyester. Now, why do you use them? Well, some systems don't. But when you do see them, they can add a certain amount of tensile strength and tear, but not a lot. As I say, the liquids themselves carry the day. They help gauge the thickness of the coating. Some manufacturers say, put down your base coat, put in our membrane, it'll suck the liquids up, and when you see that come to the surface, then you know you have the proper application amount. Right? That's a pretty common deal. And then membranes can contribute to fire ratings. When you're burning these things to get a fire rating, it's tougher to get them with polyester than it is with glass, because polyester contributes to the fire, whereas glass does not. So there's no one way, really, that's the best way. All systems are designed differently. We use both. We use polyester and glass. And the reason we use both is because some contractors prefer the poly, some contractors prefer the glass. All right, we're just trying to help them out with their labor. And that's how it is. All right, you put down your base coat, you put in your glass or your polyester. Now, normally, you cut those things into 18 to 20-foot lengths because they're easier to use. If you try to use a full roll like that and you go offline, you can have some problems, right? You got to cut it and then start again. So you pre-cut the rolls. And then what happens is the fluid on the base comes right up through the membrane. You don't want to see any membrane after you roll that in. And once that is sealed, you're watertight, right? You're good to go. Once it dries and it rains, it's not going to leak. All right, but most systems have a top coat then that you have to come back in and put it down, either the same day or the next day. And what you end up with usually is an 80 to 90 mil thickness. All right? Whoop. Flashings are also very easy. Now you do the flashings first, which is a little odd from traditional roofing. Usually traditional roofing, you lay the roof and then you put the flashings on. But you can't buck water in a fluid applied system because you're putting a top coat over the whole thing, which just makes it like a smooth bathtub. So no water coming down the flashing is going to buck any seam in the roof. Right. And the physical properties are tremendous. Whether we're talking about our MT or our Bio or our Puma, they're just phenomenal. Right? And that is a function of the chemical product base. Right? They are just so far superior to bituminous products or rubber products, right? Foam products. So where can you use them? Well, you can use them a lot of places. Right? In fact, once people start using them, they find more and more places to use them. This is a hospital in Hartford, Connecticut. It's a children's hospital. So their one instruction to us was, this can't leak. Just can't leak. Right? I helped write the specification for this, so I know this one very, very well. So that was a concrete deck. We're going to tear off the roof that was there. We put a slightly tapered insulation system on there, put a cementitious cover board on, put 2 plies of waterproof base sheet on and a cold urethane adhesive. Did the whole roof that way. Went through the winter with just those 2 plies because we ran out of time. Came back in the spring, cleaned it up, and put the fluid applied system on there. Same thing you just saw in the slides. Base coat, membrane, top coat. They wanted gray because the white was too bright and it would reflect light into the offices. And it would also make the offices hotter, believe it or not. So they wanted a different color. So we put gray on there. The yellow, they just wanted a safety line around the perimeter, and then the blue is their walkways. All right, and that's right downtown Hartford. Excellent job. Easy to use for plaza decks of all kinds. Vegetated roof systems. The nice thing about a fluid applied system for vegetated is there are no seams. You have to remember that. If you put a single ply down or a modified down, ours, theirs, it doesn't matter, you will have seams. And when you do a vegetated system, everybody knows what happens. The roots try to find the seams, and they will get in. So when you do a fluid applied system, there are no seams, right? Because the membrane that you use is overlapped 2 to 3 inches. That's fine. And then you put a top coat on there of 32 mils, and there's no seam anymore. Planners. Planners are a real pain. Not a lot of people pay attention to them. But when you do this, and you don't get the waterproofing right inside that little box, you can have a big, expensive problem. And then, of course, here's the big point. This is the whole point of our exercise today, is why should you buy anything that goes bad in 15 to 20 years? You shouldn't. You should look for things that you can extend through the life of the building. All right? All of the AlphaGuard systems are maintainable. They're restorable. All right, so you can take an AlphaGuard system that's 20 years old, clean it up, patch anything that has to be patched, prime it, top coat it, and go for another 20 years. Right? Now, I'm going to show you something that was mentioned a little earlier, but if a company says that to you, they should be ready to back it up. And we are, for a number of reasons. Number one, it's easily monitored for leaks. I mean, there's no gravel on it. If you've got a leak, it's pretty easy to find. And once you find it, it's really easy to fix. I mean, we don't sell miracles in a can, right? This is like anything else. You put in a piece of equipment in your building, you have to maintain it. You just can't put it in there and leave it. It's got moving parts. Roofs have moving parts. You have to make sure that you're watching them on a yearly basis. It's predictable. We know how these things age. You know, the rule of thumb is the top coat's going to lose 1 mil every year. Okay? Now, if you've got some areas that really have really heavy traffic, it may go a little faster. You have to keep an eye on it. But there's no mysteries with this stuff. Right? You know, once the base coat appears, it's time for a little bit of repair and maintenance. I mean, that's the whole point of using different colors for the base and the top. And extend the AG lifespan another 20 years, clean, prime, new top coat. I mean, that's what I was just talking about, and that's one of the things that makes us so unique. Now, we offer 5, 10, 15, and 20-year quality assurance warranties, just like most people in the industry. But we also offer something that you won't see except from Tremco. And this is called the plain and simple warranty. And basically what it says is, you call out how long you want that warranty to last. Don't laugh at me. So you say to me, Chuck, I want a 40-year warranty. Okay, we'll give you a 40-year warranty. But we also have to give you a 40-year design. Because I can't give you a 10-year design and give you a 40-year warranty. Right? You're going to look at me like I'm an idiot. You're going to say you're just a salesman, get out of my office. Right? So what we say to you is, you want a 40-year warranty? You want a 50-year warranty? Okay, we'll give you one, but here's what you have to do during the lifetime of that warranty. Right? And our president, Paul Hogeboom, will be talking to you in depth a little later on what this warranty is and what it means to you and to Tremco. So the possibilities in a city like Toronto are just endless. I mean, just endless. You know, these things first rose to greatness, the fluid applied stuff, in big cities. You want to re-roof that tallest building? I don't know what it's going to cost, $50 a foot? Would New York City. But if you can restore that roof up there for $20 a foot, you're way ahead of the game. Right now, I don't know what the pricing in Toronto is, so don't take me at my word that we can re-roof that for $20. I'm not saying that. The point is that restoration will let you waterproof these buildings for a lot less money than replacement. But if you have to replace those roofs, consider a fluid applied roof from Tremco, because quite honestly, I've been around for a long time. You put a base sheet down and you put a fluid applied system on top, that is the best roof design that you can put down today. We sell modifieds, we sell built up, we sell single plies, we sell them every day, but I'm telling you, that is the best design you can put down. No seams, fire rated, hard as a rock, at the same time, great elongation, chemical resistant, ponding resistant. You just got to look into that, and John's the guy that can fill you in on it. Okay? All right, John, thank you.
We can do that roof for about $20 American now.